Hang on, guys. I'm gonna get my music. Wait. Hang on. I got it. Hang on. Wait, we need more music. Oh god. Wait. That's not even gonna help me. Hang on. Just turn down the music when I was just like, wait. I was so organizing my playlist, and then they had to put tweet and what's it called? I think we're okay. Sure. Actually, no. I want this one. Oh gosh, that's so loud. Hello. It was so loud. We sorted it out. Okay. So hello, good evening. I don't even think I put on my no, I didn't. Also my face is like all over the place and I'm not in the right spot. There. There? There. Okay. We're good. I promise we are fine. I promise. I hope so. Okay, yeah, we're good. Sometimes stream is just like this. Sometimes stream is just like this. Listen, sometimes we're just having a little bit of an extra time. Why is this so loud? Why is everything so loud? I just would like some peace and quiet for our Sunday evening stream that I hopefully won't end at 1 a.m. for. In fact, I literally can't end at 1 a.m. for. So we're here. I don't know why we're listening to the music that we just were listening to before, but okay, can't really do much else. Anyway, welcome. Today, we are going to Lanayru. And by doing that, we will decide whether or not. Well, actually, okay, first things first. I should talk about how stream is going to be a little bit different. Or like this week, at least. Well, not. Well, different as in like the past 2 weeks. I know we've been doing two Breath of the Wild streams and then like an extra game. Um, I'm gonna tell you right now that the extra game for this coming week is going to be Splatoon. Because I have a couple of other things that I really have to do in regards to um, getting the points that I need to at least get somewhere halfway into the season here. Like the season, oh boy, I think I finally like got my accounts matched up with each other, but I haven't been playing as much. At least I didn't play a lot in December just because of everything that was going on. So I'm kind of like a little bit um, discombobulated with how catalog is going to work. I'm going to try my best and probably I like the goal was really to play more in December, but I think I was a little burnt out in a way. So that was kind of like a big problem that I can't really like, I can't really like play if I'm not, having those kinds of if I'm just like kind of like tired of playing the game, then that's just, what it is. But I still played a lot. I still feel like I played like a good amount, but maybe I just wasn't playing at the right times or just, maybe I don't know. But I'm less than halfway and we're already like more than halfway done with the season, so I'm a little worried. And with the big trip coming up where I'm just not going to be around for anything, I have a bad feeling that I don't think I'm going to make it to the end of the catalog for either of my accounts, which is scary. But we'll work it out. We'll work it out. If we don't get it, I think the understanding is that the catalog is going to flip every 2 years. So I might have another chance later, way further down the line, but we'll see. We'll see about that. Um, we'll see. That's like kind of what's theorized right now. I'm sorry, I'm messing with my bangs because my bangs are doing very strange things. Um, We'll see. But basically, today's stream is essentially going to be the decision factor on whether or not we have two Breath of the Wild streams or two Splatoon streams. We will still be back here with Breath of the Wild on Sunday. Next Sunday, we will. That will be the last Breath of the Wild stream. That will now, yeah. That saying that will be the last Breath of the Wild stream, no matter what. So next Sunday is going to be the last Breath of the Wild stream until I come back in March. until March. So that's literally going to be the last Breath of the Wild stream in March, until March. And so that will be the only one in February. And then once we're, yeah, and then like that will probably either also be last stream, potentially. I would imagine it's probably also going to be last stream, unless I can fit one more in before I leave, but I kind of doubt that that's going to be something that I'm going to be able to really talk about. And then hopefully I have an announcement next week. I'm going to try my hardest to just make sure all of my ends are met before I inevitably leave for 3 weeks without a stream. Well, it won't actually be... Will it be 3 weeks? Yeah, it'll be about 3 weeks. Well, maybe. Maybe. When I come back, I might have to do something to fix jet lag. So I might stream when I come back just to see if I can fix my sleep schedule with it, but I kind of doubt that. We'll see. Let me see. Is there anything else in regards to that? So, yeah, so depending on where we end up today, depending on where we end up at the end of stream today is what's going to decide whether or not we have 1 or 2 Breath of the Wild streams. So it'll either be 2 Splatoon streams, 2 Breath of the Wild streams. It's going to look like a Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. I do kind of have a general idea of what that's going to look like, at least for next week. So we have, you know, the basically like the weekday slot. So it's going to be like Splatoon 9 p.m. Tuesday, and then either Splatoon 7 p.m. Friday or Breath of the Wild 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. Breath of the Wild, or it's going to be 6 p.m. with Breath of the Wild, all depending. And then lastly, Breath of the Wild Sunday 8 p.m. and then that's going to be it. That is going to be it, potentially, unless we have one more Splatoon stream before I leave. You know, just to kind of get everything going. There is a Splatfest happening. Unfortunately, like as soon as I said that on Wednesday, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna miss a Splatfest. And what do we know it? We did indeed miss a Splatfest. We are indeed missing a Splatfest, and just like on the same weekend too, which is just kind of crazy. I might have something planned, maybe. I don't know how it's going to work, but I might have something planned. So, we'll see. We shall see. We shall see. I'll let you guys know if it does happen or not, but that will probably come into effect next week. I will let you guys know next week whether or not I have anything planned for what I can do. But we shall see. It's all relative right now, because quite honestly, I don't really know what that looks like, honestly. Okay, so I guess that leaves everything else for right now. I think those are all that I have to talk about in regards to announcements. I'll probably just circle back at the end of stream and we will discuss that at a later point. But for now, let's get into breathing wildly. Okay. Wait, hang on. I can't hear my sounds, because that means that my things are doing silly little things, because I really hate when they do that. Okay, there we go. There we go. You can be down, please. Let me see here. So if I can't hear that, then I can't hear my alerts, and that's what's important here. Okay. So let's take a look here. Last we left off in my very groggy state, we left off in Hateno. Yes, and we were in the Ancient Tech Lab, and we just upgraded our... I'm gonna take that with me. We just upgraded our... what is this thing called? Or runes. The last of our runes. So, there's nothing else that she can do for us for now. I mean, there's a couple of, like, little funny things that we can do with Purah. But I have a feeling we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back in Hateno a couple times, so I don't really think that that's gonna be much of an issue. However, our point of interest is actually up north. Like a bit further afield up north. But let me at least get down into town here and see if there's anything else that I can, anything else that was worth doing here. I think there's a couple of more things that we have that we can do at our newly acquired house. And then I think she spawned in to tell us over here, but we're right there. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're out here. We can't teleport up, as we know. But if we climb Mount Lanayru again, we'll kind of like in a very like easy sense just get back up to Mount Lanayru. We want to actually head up north here. Like this area is where we want to head. And I believe we can fight a Lionel. Another Lionel, not that Lionel. We've already fought that Lionel. But yeah, if we get up to Mount Lanayru again and we go back down, we could cross over here and get to another area that that's essentially where we were trying to get to before. Now I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to go back out to Kakariko Village and then downwards, or actually like back up to this point where we first met Cass and do that. But actually I think that's not even what I want to start off with yet. But either way, we just have to get up to the north to continue our mission up to the next area. But actually I do want to go down to the shore here and head to this shrine that we marked out before. We can also probably head back down to Lurelin if we really wanted to too. It's all dependent. But first things first, what I do want to do is potentially see if Bolson Construction can help us out with making our house a little bit nicer. Hey. So the both of us sort of hit a personal milestone, huh? Time to kick back and get leisurely, baby. Though you look a bit judgmental for such a fine moment. You're looking at me like we should both keep working at it. You don't even have to say it. Oh, I just bought a new house and it's totally empty and depressing. I'm sure that's you to a T. I see it in your eyes. Yep, I was just like you about a lifetime ago. So tell you what, let me help by taking care of any furniture or the exterior, or anything really, for 5,000 rupees. Actually, no, scratch that. For you, let's start at 100 rupees. Let's just cruise on by whatever you have the spending cash, and we'll talk. Okay, let's talk now. Need something from me? Build me something. What you want? How's exterior? Can we get a door? Oh, wait, hang on. Listen, can we get a door, please? That'll be 100 rupees, okay? You can shell that out. I'm ready to pay up. Okie do. Payments up front. Okie do. Now, they say some funny stuff here, so I don't think I'm gonna get it right every time. This work ain't doing itself. Carson, we are on. Yo. We love that. Love that for us. Well, it's really coming along. Take a look if you get the chance. So we at least have a door to our house, because it just kind of felt awkward just walking in. But yeah, we have a door. So now we can just kind of push in there. While we're here also, I do want to... also get a bed. That'll be 100 rupees. Yeah, but it's pretty much the same here. Except for here. I think it changes. Okie do. House, I'm coming for you. Carson, are we studs of work? It's studs of stud work. You're darn tootin' we are. Been waiting. Okay. Perfectly installed. Give it a look. Okay, so those are like just the two things that I really wanted. So we are... have the door, and now we can come up here and we can sleep if we, you know, at any point at all. If we need to take a rest, we can do so. It doesn't give us any extra hearts or anything like that, but it's a nice thing to do. Plus, we have food. We have food. We have like crazy amounts of food. If we need it. So that's an easier thing to do. I don't know how he did that through the mask. I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna ask. I think also, if I remember correctly, I recall that correctly, that there is somewhere down here, there is a Korok. I think I said this last time too, that there is a Korok down here, but I can't remember where exactly it is. Oh, no, it's just a rusty broadsword. I have a picture of this. Huh. Armored carp. Okay, I do have a horse out, actually. Now that I remember that. Now that I recall. Is that what I want to take down there, though? Probably not. I don't think I'm going to take that down to shore. I think I'm going to just kind of head down. That'll be our first task. How many, Oh, I have 4. I don't know when I got 4, but I don't really remember. But we can, pray at the shrine over here. And that does mean that we have another stamina wheel or heart. I'd say let's do a heart. I feel like we should do a little bit more hearts. Probably do with one of those. One extra. Okay, yep. Cool. I'm okay, I promise. We are gonna get another, but still helpful in the meantime, you know? Okay, also, we do have to go in the inn, because we did promise this guy that we would get, or like, talk to this lady here. Hi there. Sir, do you need something from me? What do you like? Why is he asking? Whatever, I'll just say something random. I'll tell you, it's always something that I really like. Crickets. It's my dream to have my very own collection of 100 restless crickets. As of 100 restless crickets. Wow. 100 restless crickets. 100 restless crickets. That's a lot to say. Checking everyone out today, too. Checking just never stops. What is it? I talked to Prima. What, Prima told you what she wants? Prima never talks to me. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. So then what was it? She said 100 restless crickets. Prima wants restless crickets and 100 of them? What a small world. I love restless crickets. I'm a connoisseur of them. I think that's what the word means. But catching 100 of them is going to be tough. Think you could help me get started on those? But you get me 10 of them. I'll get you something nice for your trouble. I think I have them. I think I got the goods, don't I? Yeah. Okay, so, Yep, that's 10. Thanks, I'll take him. Little something for your troubles. Thanks. Right then, I'll go ahead and catch the rest of them. And I'll take him to Premia, and then we'll have the date. Oh no, my stutter. Cool. Good luck with that. I don't know how it's gonna go. But good luck. Okay, yeah, we were going this way, right? On the long run, it doesn't actually matter. I think I will take Buzz down anyway. We could probably send Buzz out for a couple of other things. Alright. Downward we go. Did we, by the way, did we have any more side quests? I don't think we did. Seems I'm off the hook for now. Yeah. Alright, so the apple my eye inquiry for what ails you. Things that we definitely didn't do. Right from the ground up is also something that we did not actually get to do. We also have a lot of these other things, but let me just start with the rest of them. No, we can't do that here. Thank you. Oh, that kid has a side quest for us. Hey! Hey, mister, did you come from the big wide world? You look like you're good with a bow and strong, so you must be pretty strong. Are you strong or what? Yeah, I would say. I mean, I took down a Lionel, so I'd hope so. Bet you can use all sorts of weapons, right? So, do you want to help a kid's dream come true? Your Gramps is dead now, but when he was alive, he loved weapons, though he never got to see all the ones he wanted. So you bring me weapons and show them to me, and then I can tell Gramps about him when I meet him again. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. I knew you'd do it. Oh my gosh. Where should we start? Have you heard of the Traveler's Sword? I've seen it in books, but never in real life before. If you find it, please let me see it. Oh boy. Okay. This is something. I think I've already done that. Alright, where are we going? Okay, so out and down. I think once we get off of this cobblestone, we can then... Yes. Oh, great. Ah, there it is, finally. Okay. The scimitar is gone. I have the blades, but I don't really want to use them. Where did they go? Oh. Okay. I missed the point. So eventually, oh my gosh, not again. You. We're minding our own business hunting for truffles, and then wham, monsters out of nowhere. I blame my sister, really. She's the one who refuses to go home until we find some truffles. Okay, sure. It's like there's only like a certain amount of time, and I think like if you have rescued them in like a certain amount of time, then you can't actually go through with it. I do remember that kind of being a thing. But also, they're kind of searching in the wrong place for hardy truffles if that's what they're looking for. Just saying. Okay. There's some blue nightshade, actually. Perhaps I do want to grab that. it's not too far away. Looks like it might be, so I'm gonna ignore that for now. Just for now. Oh, hello. Okay. A lot about goblins. Cool. I don't know how you're not hitting me right now. But okay. Cool. Easy enough. Alright, so we are gonna head down to the shore here. At least take this way to get down there. But before then, actually, I do want to make sure that I stop by the pond that's over here and get some hardy bass. Because, that's always of use. Should be over here. Yep, that's the... That's the spot. Then we just, yeet. And then we have fish. Also, we are wearing the stealth armor, so that's really not even a big deal for us to just kind of come down here and get the hardy bass. Get some regular bass, too. Just a regular spawning area for them. So nothing of... I don't feel like anything super... super bad is to come of it. Huh. It's clearing up and we can see the top of Mount Lanayru over there. It's a nice little area. It's a nice little screen, it seems. Does appear to be approaching nighttime, however. Also, that is a fake person. Come on, bud. Alright. Down we go. There's a bridge over there, so if we did want to kind of take that over to the eastern side here, could also do that. Take that south. What? Oh. I didn't realize you guys could grab these and throw them like that. Hey. LOL. Thanks for the rock, buddy. Thanks for lifting that rock for me. Help me find a thing over there. Alright, No. Let's see. Iron sledgehammer. There we go. Ooh, 3 topaz. Nice. There any more slide down here? No. But there are more of these guys. You know. Just gonna yeet them in places. Just because it's fun. Alright, let me get my arrows back at least, because I feel like that's at least something of use. This one get thrown at? No. Oh, okay, there is an amber. I think that was what I was thinking of before. Because I know that there was one piece that was over there. But yeah, a wild rock formation area. At least it feels like. Well, let me see here. So right here we have some fish. I don't think I've actually ever taken a picture of either of them. Well, maybe I have. Because we've been to Lurelin and they're pretty plentiful at Lurelin. Okay, mighty and armored. I'm gonna fish them. Because, could use them. Because they do give you, armor and, what's it called? Buffs? Armor and attack buffs. And where we're going, we're probably gonna need them. Okay. Oh my gosh, why? And a whack and a whack. No. 2-2. Listen. I'm very tired of these. Very tired of doing things like this. I just have... You know what's so funny, though? You know what's so funny? The fact that there's a... that the guys spawn from... Like, the pieces actually spawn from different area... Well, not different areas, but they spawn from different things other than... Like they spawn from like the body, like the talons and the horns. Like the horns are on the head, and the talons are from the body. But all of them spawn from the body because you destroy the head. But they spawn where the things show up. Like they spawn like where the body was laying instead of where the head was. Also, I'm gonna skinny dip because it's actually faster. I think it's even faster if you, I think if you even... I think this is faster. It looks like that's a cast for us. Speaking of which, though, I know there's a raft somewhere, but I don't actually remember where it is. Should get us over there. Maybe I should have climbed up and flown down. I feel like that probably would have made a little bit more sense, but it's okay. In the grand scheme of things, it's fine. Okay. Alright, and then now... climbing gear. Alrighty. Gus. Ah, the smell of the sea. Why, hello. I certainly didn't expect to see anyone else up here.
Oh.
How fortunate to cross paths with you again. Did you come to see the sea? This oddly shaped rock pillar we're standing on is the subject of a song. Would you like to hear it?
Oh.
As you wish. Okay. And they all return to fight evil. (17 of 2). This rock will point towards its retrieval. 17 of 24. Oh. So it's by the ancient heroes that defeated the Calamity 10,000 years ago. Must be a big amount. Good luck figuring it out. May the light illuminate your path. It's 17 of 24, so hang on. I have to like think really quickly. Because that's... Oh. Back to playing, bud. 17 of 24. Trying to think, right? Because that means that there's... So 24. So wait, it's 17 minus... What? 17 minus 12 is... 5? So it's 5 p.m.? And so would that be... Oh, we can also do this, possibly. Probably be at 5 o'clock, right? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to bump into him. Ah. I think maybe this is it. Is it money? Hey! Yeah, it seems so. Alright. Easy. So we should probably go tell Cass what we found. Huh. Who would have thought?
Oh.
What? So the hero's savings amount's nothing more than a single gold rupee. Well, here's the... Well, Hero thought he was much... Well, hero though he was much more rich in character than wealth. Still, that is a fair sum. I hope you make good use of it. Okay. Thanks, Gus. Alright, once again, I need to find... This is not what we're here for. We're here for... a rat. We can find him. Because I am in need of one. Maybe that there is a... Oh, that's a... Those are guys over there. I don't believe that those are all the cast missions. I think that there's a couple more that we haven't been to, if I remember correctly. If I'm remembering right. Pretty sure I am. But we have done a lot of them. We've done the lightning one. We've done that one. We've done... And that's one of the ones that, like, I feel like people miss a lot, is because it's like... You don't need... what's it called, to do anything with it. Like, you don't, like, it's not actually a shrine mission, and a lot of them are shrine missions. Like, I think that's the only one that's not a shrine mission, actually, so... It's also kind of a point of... Maybe we need to probably consider. I feel like I probably did that a little too late. Shall see. Actually, let me eat my... Drink another elixir. But yeah, like, that's actually something of use. Or not of use, but like something that we might want to consider. How many of those we've done. We do get something... We do get like a small thing out of it at the end. But... Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out... Now, I remember there being a raft somewhere around here. At least if I remember right. Maybe I don't. At least right here, there's another Korok for us. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna put this down so that I can put this up. Then hopefully we'll have a little bit more success. I don't think I've ever done this one. Okay. So what about 2? Can I put in a 3rd? Sure can. Alright, that should slide right in. I don't see why that shouldn't. We have plenty of tries and plenty of throws. If so or if not. No, that was on the edge. Okay. No? Okay. I put it, like, right next to it. Like, right there. Okay. I am also gonna just, Also, I don't have anything equipped, so if I get attacked right now, not a good look for me. Alright, and that should be enough, I feel like, with all 3 of them. Okay. And yeetus. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. And there's already 70. Oh, hi. Speaking of getting attacked immediately. Okay. Oh. I almost broke those. I didn't mean to. Alright, I'm just trying to find a raft. There isn't one. Or rather, it's on the other side. Great. Alright. Cool. At least I know that's where it is. So if I continue down this way, he should hit it. Oh. Oh, that was a lead shot if I've ever seen one. Okay. Put everything away. Put everything back at least. Now here's the thing though, that the raft is a little bit in a pretty cumbersome spot because in fact it might be easier to just, well, at this point I'm kind of halfway between these two spots here. Just come back to get my horse or stable it later if possible. Even though I'm pretty far from any kind of stable, right? Yeah. That was like not the way that I was picturing that this would go at all, actually. Because this is already back the way to. This is well, actually, this is the way back to Hateno already. No sheep still in that pen. Apparently. No, it doesn't look like it. So the sheep did find their way back. Oh, but there's a hardy blueshell snail, which I will take. Because that is of use. Alright, and we found what we were looking for here. Now, that island over there is called Eventide Island. I highly doubt that with this playthrough that we're going to be doing that. Just because it is very much like a long form shrine type. And like a shrine area, and it's just kind of something that I don't really feel like is necessary for this case, but I believe that this is not regular treasure. Aha. So I can just hit the... Okay, that's good to know. I was having trouble with that. I was always having trouble with that, like, trying to figure out whether or not that was, like... Okay. You know, I feel like there was actually one point at which I kind of accidentally went to Eventide. Or Eventide. And, like, I totally didn't mean to. It was just, like, something that I was just like, oh, like, what's this island over here? And, yeah, I just ended up there. And I immediately reset because I was just like, I'm not ready for this. I don't know anything about the game to, like, really do this. But again, this is not where we're going. Got him. Yeah, we are going to the shrine over here. Yeah, so fun fact, you can't actually throw the Korok leaf. You just kind of do this over and over again. But yeah, doing this repeatedly does actually get you quite a distance. Also, I feel like I'm scooting back a little bit, and that's not really what I want to do. And here we are, out in the sea. And we're just cruising along. Feel like it's a good thing to do. So just cruise along here. Okay, we are gonna turn this way because that's where the shrine is. This is actually where the shrine is. This one's a little bit of a pain to get to because I'm kind of stuck here. So what we could do is we could go to Lurelin if we wanted to in like a really relatively easy fashion. Okay. Alright. On we go. Into the shrine. Where we have a test of strength. Alright, I'm pretty sure that this is a modest or minor, but I'm pretty sure it's like modest. Like it's not a major test of strength. Oh, no, it is a major test of strength. Okay, cool, right, okay, yeah, actually, let me go with one of these two, and, while I'm at it, that, and, that, because, ooh, I thought this was a minor, not that at all, and, let's eat one of these two, and, I want to probably eat one of these as well. And then we will go in. Probably should have done that after it lifted up, but that's okay. Oh boy. Okay, cool. At least I'll get some more weapons out of this. That's kind of key. Okay, I'm good at dodging some of these. I'm not good at dodging all of them. I thought this was a minor test of strength. I don't remember this kind of being my first, like, big test of strength here. At least from my perspective. Okay, this should be a rotate time. Wow, I literally was not going to get hit at all there. Alright, zone weapon against it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, no, no. 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 Do not let that thing... Like I said, I don't ever want to have to show off what what happens when that goes off. What I do know is that it's a very terrible time. So, yeah. Actually, I do probably want to get rid of one of these then. What do I drop? I don't want to drop any of this, actually. But if I have to, it's that. Getting a second battle axe is always useful, though. These are really big items. Oh! That was worth it. Because I was wondering where that was. I was wondering where that was. And I knew I'd been to it before. And that's where it was. That's where it was. Okay. Alright. We're good with that. I'm totally good with that. I am totally fine and good and nice with that. Because that is so useful. Now we have that set. Now we have that set complete and we should be good to do anything we need to. Ooh, you know what? So, now that we're leaving out of here, I'm starting to remember that we may actually want to go back to what's it called? We might actually we may actually want to go back to we might want to actually get back to oh. We're probably gonna go to no, wait, that's not the way we want to go. Think we want to go this way. Think. Oh my gosh, okay. Touch it again, touch it again, touch it again. I'm jumping in. I got it. Thank you. Whenever I see Hester again, I'm gonna have a lot for him. But point being, we probably do want to go back to Kakariko because, Great Fairy's there. And we have a lot more things than we did last time, and that's really useful. Those of you who are coming back from the commercial break, and then missed it, I got the last piece of the climbing gear, and I actually had forgotten where it was, so, now we know it was in that shrine. Major test of strength. I don't even know how he hit me, quite honestly. Okay. What a wild and crazy time. But okay. Oh. Alrighty. So, yeah, new goal. We're going back to Kakariko because it's really something that I could use right now. Great Fairy. And in fact, I actually kind of want to. So we'll kind of go up to the north, that kind of way, like that way, and just kind of do it in that way. Make sure that we're all good there. Ooh. Really? Thank you. Razor claw. So the funny thing is, the funny thing I noticed is that with the crabs, the red one is the defense one, but with the porgies, the red one is actually the attack one. Just found that interesting. Just find that really interesting. Okay. Alright, and we are going to go down the Hateno way because it is a little bit safer. We're going to try to avoid talking to this person here. Because that one is... It's a Yiga clan member. It's not who we want to talk to. Let me think here. There is an easier way. Or not an easier way, that's not what I was gonna say, but like there is something kind of, at least a little bit more of use to us. Probably sleep away the night and then see if we can get back up to what was the area? Probably see about that nightshade before we head back. I lost my train of thought. All I know is we're going back to Kakariko so that we can Great Fairy it up. Wish I had a stable for my horse. I feel like that's probably... Or maybe I do have one. Maybe it's right here. Wish I had some hay for my horse though. Let's have a nice little apple tree. If you ever need any apples, we can just kind of climb up this tree here. We're actually kind of meant to like chop it down, but at least with this style, but it's kind of a pain to get up there. Let's have this little outhouse here. It's not actually a door. But inside we are. And we sleep. Okay. Our door was open all night. You know what? While we're here, I think I have some, yeah. Oh, that's not... No, 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 no. Alright. Just to replenish that mighty meal we had. Alright, thank you. Yeah, we could actually use a few more mighty bananas, so maybe we will fight some Yiga's foot soldiers. See if we can get some from them. Alright. Now I did stop in here for one more reason, and that reason was the general store. Just to pick up a few more arrows before our inevitable journey outward. take all of these, thank you. I'm doing okay. Just one.
Ha.
Actually,
Oh.
can I sell you some topaz? Because I have some topaz.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh. Ah.
Here's one of those. And I think that's all I really want to sell right now. I can sell these 6.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh.
Alright, we're good. Right, like I said, you can always buy like sundries. Like I think it's actually pretty good to buy sundries. But anything you can forage, it's really not even worth doing. Like Hylian rice you can forage, the eggs you can forage, Endura shrooms you can forage. I would definitely not recommend doing those things if you could help it, because like it's just really, you know, you can just find all the ingredients out there if you just forage. Ooh. It's very actionable there. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were going another way earlier. Yep. Thank you. Good horse. Right, I think from here we are good to... Nope, still not. Okay, now we are. Alright. We are going to continue down this path. Yes, thank you. And back to Kakariko Village. Why is there... I just don't understand how there's, like, all these bokoblins just out around... Ooh, nope, don't waste the arrow. Just out and around here. At one point we do need to go past there, I feel. Go into that shooting range. Because there is also a Korok mission there. I do wonder what Dr. Calip is doing. If he's still trying to be Dr. Calip or anything like that. Dashing treasure hunter Telly with his roguish good looks. It's just a short hike from here, from west. It's a short hike west from here to Port Hateno. Let's see. What can I tell you about the place? Nothing really comes to mind. Hey, question for you. Do you have any interest in Guardian's remains? I'll see what you can say. Okay, so you're not special. You don't have anything special because it's raining out. Maybe it stopped raining out. Alright, onwards we go. Back to the west. But not all the way west, because we were west before, and that's not where we wanted to go. We want to go a little less west from here. Traces of ancient battle linger. Countless places, countless precious lives must have been lost here. Yeah. It's definitely something, I'll tell you what. Incredible. Hi, my name's Goril. Come to see Fort Hateno, I take it? Guess so. Figured as much. It's well worth seeing. Okay. Fort Hateno was the last line of defense between Hateno Village and an awful tragedy all those years ago. Everyone's got to come and pay their respects at least once in a lifetime, right? Okay, so fun little thing. Because we have stasis, now we can instantly tell what guardians are enemies and which ones we shouldn't interact with, which is actually really helpful. So it's a fun little helpful tool. You can also come around here and scavenge for guardian parts if you are feeling like you can do so. But yep, always look around because sometimes there'll be like a guardian that is actually like a guardian that like in a collection that is actually less than active, that is actually still active a little bit, so it's just good to just check. Because you can, you can kind of get caught up you can get caught up scavenging for guardian parts and then just realize that it's like, oh, there's actually one that's alive, and then you have to parry, and then you might not parry well enough, and it's just kind of like a whole deal. So, just run stasis, and you don't have to worry about it. It's nice. Now, if you do stasis it, like, if I were to go stasis that one right now, that would actually activate it. So you do have to be careful. Stay out of its line of sight if you do decide to do that. Also, I think this one... I think I've already done this one, but actually if you flip over certain... Oh, hi. Nope. Stop. Just stop. Stop it. Yes and no. But yeah, certain ones you can flip them over, and if you do that, then you can get a few extra pieces. As needed, of course. But only the ones that are over water, not the ones that are, just around. Now, again... Yeah, that one's all the way over there, so we are still good. Guardian parts are going to come in use when we come back from, like, our little hiatus. I think that's actually going to be... when, so... I think that's actually, like... but yeah, it's not useful to us right now, but it will be... Like, when we do come back from break and, like, start getting into, like, the second half of the game, it will be useful in that regard. Alright. Alright, actually, I, at this point, am going to board Buzz. There is another place that I could board Buzz, but I don't really feel like I should. Wait that long. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do this now. I think I'll pull out one of our slower horses. Just so that we get there a little bit faster, but not, like, ridiculously slowly, you know? They're, like, only on foot.
Hey! Hey!
Welcome to our fancy. Okay, we are now. We're gonna board the horse. Gonna board Buzz? Yes.
Oh.
Huh. Alright. We will take... probably Andy.
Hmm?
Yeah. Andy's not very strong, but we don't really need that because we're not going to be with him the entire time.
Oh. Hi.
Okay. Do hear a Korok, but we're definitely, you know, not going to be around for that. At least not much longer. Okay. I'm gonna move back just a touch. Ugh. Just adjusting just a little bit. I think we did do the one that was over here, right? As far as I remember. Yeah, we did. That is also, oh, there's some over here. We'll forge this one. I'm pretty sure that is a Yiga foot soldier, and that is really alarming because, in fact, if we unload that person and then reload them in, I'm pretty sure that they will change outfit. Yep, that's how you know. That's how you're able to tell. You're lost, aren't you? Oh no, it's okay. Everyone gets lost from time to time. The Dueling Peak Stables to the south and the Hateno Villages to the east. If you have a map, you can look at it. You can look at it as you travel. It's too bad there isn't a map to life, you know? Okay. Up we go. Lovely. So we got a couple of nightshades. I don't know if I have enough, but there's still more around, at least in the area that we're going to, so I'm not super worried about that. I haven't gotten a picture of a seagull yet. I feel like I have, but I also kind of feel like I haven't. It's very strange. You know, it's kind of hard to keep track of. Alright. Huh. Up we go. We got that one, and we have a bunch. You know, we have a bunch of everything, pretty much. Ugh. I didn't mean to do that. Oops. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Back in Kakariko once again. Very much just keeping it this way. You know, sometimes when you do get back to an area, I'm just like, oh, I want to teleport, but it's okay. You know, there's still places that we haven't discovered. Like, if we look at our map, we zoom out, and, you know, just try to go the hero's path mode. You know, we've covered a lot of ground, but there's still, you know, a lot of area that we haven't touched yet. And I'd like to keep it that way for just a little bit longer. But, okay. Yep, we're still considered in the village. Oh, Bloopy. Oh, missed the Bloopy. Okay, actually, give me that arrow back, thank you. Okay. I'm going to pull my horse up this way. Just like past here. There's a lot of blue. Okay, got one. Blue rupee. There we go. Okay. There's some blue nightshade there. Yeah, we have a bunch here. It's always helpful when the thing you need, like the material that you need, is like right there. At least a little bit. Just, you know, from time to time. It's not always something that. Yes, I would, please. Okay. So we don't have a ton of this. We need a lot more, actually. I think I am gonna go ahead and just... How do I do gain down? Sorry. It should only be picking me up. I just... Sorry, another member of my house is being a little bit louder than I would like. Okay. Let's see here. So we... Oh. Oh, right, okay. So we do need... Because like I said, it's only... Like she said, it's only 2 levels that we can do right now. Of course, there's certain things that we're not... That we just don't have the, items for. Like the climbing gear. We need a lot more, electric keys. Oh. Well, that's an easy fix. Yeah, we need more electric key swings. That is pretty much, like, all we need, really. We could probably find those relatively soon, so... On our way back from this next Divine Beast, that might be something we end up doing. But, yep. 2 Blue Nightshade, and here we are. We're back. It's away. Okay, lovely. And because we've already I do want to just make sure. Yep, so it's just the electric key swings that we'll need from them. Well, actually we can upgrade the climbing gear once. And then we'll be good, I think. I think after we, you know, find those other pieces, then we should be fine. We just need about 8 more. I feel like eventually we will get there. Especially in the next area. No thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so there's 2 more of them. We found 2, but there's still, the third one, which you're probably going to see after hiatus, and then, beyond that is where we need to go. Yeah, impressive to say that we've only died once so far. We still have 2 Divine Beasts to do, and you can see that there's at least, 7? Yes, 7. 7 towers to get, of which there will be areas of which that are going to be very difficult to get. Well, not difficult to get, but like definitely something that we may have to work out on our own. At least in future. Okay. Let us continue on. Oh my. Oh. Meat? Meat. Goat. While I'm here, I am probably going to grab whatever's in here. Emperor. Okay. I'll call the horse. And continue on. Okay, and we're gonna ignore that guy. But yeah, I think I was saying something earlier about, yeah, if you just unload them and reload them, you can tell which ones are which. Oh. Look at that. Electric keys. Actually, now would be a good time to, swap to this set almost semi-permanently. Because, coming up, we're gonna have a lot of things that we're gonna have to deal with. A lot of electric enemies. That puts us at 10, right? That's pretty good. In fact, I think I'm going to leave. Or maybe not right there. Oh. It's Naydra. Is Naydra just gonna... Whoa. No, Naydra goes back up, right? Thought I heard a dragon. Yeah, I don't actually know, like, what Naydra's path is like. At least, like... in this sense, I do know it just kind of circles back around. I think it does just kind of come back. Like, it goes down the promenade and it just goes back up. Oh, is there any more? Oh! Hello, friends! How are you? I need your wings. Please give them to me. Thank you. Wow. Okay, let's see. Nice little scene. Looks like it goes down too. Okay, and now that we're pretty much done here, I'm gonna lose sight of Naydra, but we wanted to watch it, and we couldn't do that. So we're gonna use our newly acquired ability to fly over to our new areas up here. Where it appears to be, as the title of the stream suggests, after many a time, endlessly raining. And I do mean endlessly. In fact, it's actually thunderstorming. Is what I meant to say. But yeah. We're gonna get up to that thing. So the fun thing is, you know how we're here, you know how we have this metal thing on our back? That could, like, strike us at any moment here? Yeah, we can just kind of ignore it. Okay, maybe we can't ignore it, but, yeah, that hurts a lot more than I thought it was, but, eventually, when we upgrade the armor high enough, we can pretty much ignore it. But you can see that that did a lot less damage to us than it would have otherwise. And that is because we have the full leather suit. Yeah, the full rubber suit, not the leather suit, the rubber suit. So our goal... Oh, wait. They only have one charge left. Unfortunate. Okay. That's not good. It's actually really not good, actually. Okay. Let's see. You know what? Since we can't go up, have to go back down. Whoa. We are going to go to the shrine. So I feel like that shrine is going to be really useful to us. Because having a shrine, no matter what, is going to be really helpful for getting us further ahead here. A Hylian. Oh my, how wonderful. You're a Hylian, yes? Yeah. Perfect, it must be my lucky day. Oh, I do apologize for calling out to you so suddenly. I'm Torfo of the Zora. I've been searching for a Hylian like you for a very long time. My harm, Zora's domain is in terrible danger. That is why Prince Sidon sent me in search of a strong Hylian warrior. Prince Sidon is waiting at Inigo Bridge. Would you please talk to the prince and perhaps save us all? We'd be ever so grateful. Okay. We got a big hearty radish for our troubles. But we're gonna go ahead here first and then do our second thing of the day, but we have a very big endless rain area. So we are going to go ahead and wait for it. Wait before going ahead with this. Okay. Let's see here. Oh. If you please be a modest test. At least, so I don't have to deal with... No, it's a minor test. Okay, perfect. Let's just make sure we have the camera. Make sure we already have this. Oh, it doesn't have anything on its head. This is a Guardian Scout too. Oh my. Right. Right, it's already on the... yeah. Okay. That was a really minor test, I will have to say. Did I get the Guardian Sword? Have I documented the Guardian Sword? I feel like we might have not. Oh, no, we have. We documented the Guardian Shield. Yes. Okay. Though I can't carry anymore. So that's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I have so many Knight's Bows, it's ridiculous. Okay. Okay. And there we go, Spirit Orb. Number 2. Okay. As we continue along. Alright. Alright, I do wonder how much longer we have. 2 minutes and 29 seconds. I can't believe we only had one charge left and I just kinda... that was too bad. Oh. Hello? Making good time. Sapsaba.
Oh.
I'm Karsh of the Gerudo. Remember that name. I'm just a traveler now, but there was a time where I was a master archer in Gerudo Town Guard. Can't count how many times I stopped monsters from invading the town with a single well-placed arrow. Oh. Okay. Have a good evening, then. Well, Gerudo Town is not a place that we'll be going anytime in the near future, I will say. Of course, this way is up to 2 areas that which we're not going to be visiting until after hiatus. That is going to be Alcala to the east here, and then Death Mountain, which is I think Eldon to the west over there. Let's see here. Oh, that's kind of far, actually. Okay, we're going. We're going. Doesn't matter, we're going. It's called We're Going. Or... 5... 6... Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Huh? 7... Hey! Good. Alright, I'm glad. Alright. We're gonna go over here, though. Since we can't go up to the tower yet, I'm a little bit mad about that. Quite honestly. Gonna probably just do some shrines in the area. Just 1 or 2. Now by being here... I only have one of the... you know what? Nope, that's not the one I'm gonna use. Just burn the barbs here.
Rivali's gale is now ready.
Okay. Ravioli. Thank you for finally getting past here. Not that we needed it. But yeah, we just burn that away, and then we can come up here. As long as you have a fire arrow, it should be fine. You can also start a fire, and yeah, eventually it'll burn away. It's very tightly packed and easy in that regard to do. There's also a guy here. He's trying to take some pot shots at us. We weren't having any of it. Okay. Try number 3. I think we will have a 4th. We will get to a 4th. But it is still some other things to keep in mind here. Right, speed of light. Let's see here. We can rotate this. So this essentially rotates this laser beam here. Okay. think our entire thing is just to kind of get over here in enough time to... Yes. And that's it. Easy. I don't think that there was anything else for us here, right? Didn't seem like it. Huh. Or... was there one? It's hard to tell. Oh, okay. I see. I see what's happening here. Okay. So we could, but, kind of feel like I don't really want to bother with that. So I won't. Alright. Your resources definitely overheading. Okay, I don't need to read that. We've seen this so many times. I will take a sip of water, I'll tell you what. If we do ever need any resources, that would be a good thing to keep in mind. By the way, the reason why I opened up the map there is because, on the shrines where we've discovered every single chest, there will be a chest icon that shows up. And that is helpful for knowing if you have all the chests in an area or not. Kaboom. That was an easy one. Oh. Party bass. Party bass. Thank you. They are useful. They have their uses. I also kind of look like a fish myself right now. Okay, so we're gonna go up, back up the mountain where we were, since we have the resources too. And I think that these are a new type of crab. This is the bright-eyed crab, and I think this one moves fast. This one gives you movement speed up, I believe so. Oh no, it actually replenishes stamina. Okay. That's good. That's a stamina replenisher. Alright. It's not what I thought it was. But yeah, they're only specific to this area and like very, like low. Like, I think they're like kind of freshwater. They're supposed to kind of be like freshwater crabs. Alright, and that's a... It's not a regular traveler. So we should probably leave him be if we want to preserve our health. Which we do. Because we have quite the ways to continue up here. Right, so we're gonna get to the top of the top here. Get back up to the top of this mountain here. The top of the top. I mean, like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, but it's not what I was really trying to say. See, there's some other things in Hateno that we can also, like, there's, that we can also, see, but, like, there's also a staple back there if you look hard enough. as well. There's also another shrine back there. See, it's glowing. Okay. Okay. Now this mountain has a lot of enemies on it, so I am going to try to avoid as many as everything as possible, but it might not. It might just not be possible. As far as things go here. We can at least claim it without having to deal with the perpetual rain that we've noticed and that was brought up to us. Oh. Hi. I didn't know you could do that. Okay, good to know. Oh, I don't have a picture of you actually. No, you're just a regular ice wizrobe, yeah. Yeah, okay. Easy. You have ways to climb, but at least we have a little bit easier of a thing to deal with and not that guy or many of the other guys here. Oh. That was not a good... That was really bad, actually. Almost really bad. I actually should probably just, wait for that. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh. So high up. Wow, I cannot believe it. Excuse me. Yes, you. I am Groove of the Zora. It is apparent that you were a traveler, but may I ask what brought you here? You could ask the same. How very astute of you. Excellent query indeed. I, by order of Prince Sidon of Zora's domain, am searching for a Hylian, where I was, but then I fell asleep. I awoke to a loud noise and an awful quaking, and now here I am. I'd like to get down and be on my way, but I simply am way too high up. I need to figure something out. Prince Sidon is down there at the bridge below, but for some reason I cannot seem to catch his attention. But you are a Hylian, yes? Well then, my luck is improving. Prince Sidon, I found one! I found a Hylian! Prince Sidon doesn't seem to notice my struggle. Perhaps I should swallow my feel and jump to the river below, then I can return to him. He must be worried sick. No, nope, can't do it, I'm too high up. I'd likely meet the gods of the ever... I'd likely meet the gods of the ever after before I even ever see Prince Sidon again. Mr. Hylian, I must apologize. It will be some time before I can get back to Prince Sidon. Please, you must leave me here and go ahead. Okay, well, before we do that... Well, it's been a while, I believe. Don't mean to pick my nose on stream. It's been a while, I believe, but the Sheikah Tower is now activated. After a while of not doing any of them. Now we have a lot of area. Some of the area we've been in before, but now, you can actually see most of it. Yay. Alright, cool. It'll be fine, bud. Sure, you'll be fine. Alright, now, the funny thing is, you can ignore the call here. But we're not going to do that. We are going to go ahead and follow the pathing here. And follow this as it was intended to be done by the devs. Well, I mean, all of it's pretty much intended, but, like... you know, we'll do this the way that, you know, we can... pretty much... Ooh. I have a spot open. I don't have a spot open. But I would. But just do this the way that we can, you know, go ahead and do this. Well, like, you know, there's an alternative way that allows us to, go around and then go straight to Zora's Domain, and then we'll just meet up with, Prince Sidon there. But we can come down here, and we'll just do this the way that, you know, you're kind of led into the domain.
Say, hey there, young one. Up top, above you.
Everyone's favorite boy.
Pardon the entrance, but you're a Hylian, aren't you? I was hoping perhaps you'd have a moment to talk.
Indeed. Aha! A Hylian, yes, I knew it. Oh, pardon me. I am Sidon of the Zora Prince. And what is your name? Go on, please tell me. Link? Your name is Link. What a fantastic name. Though I cannot shake the feeling that I've heard this somewhere before. Well, in any case, it is a strong name. To be honest, I've been watching you. I've seen the way you work. I can tell by how you carry yourself that you are no ordinary person. Link, you must be a strong warrior among the Hylians, correct? No. Don't be so humble. I can tell just by looking at you. I am a Zora Prince after all. I have an eye for talent that is unparalleled. He has a whistle. Yes, exquisite. I have been searching for someone like you for a long while. A man like you, Link, who carries himself with power. Right now, Zora's Domain is in great danger because of the massive rainfall coming from the Divine Beast Baruda. Please promise you will help us. We need your strength, warrior. Won't you please come to Zora's Domain with me? Sure thing. Wow, really? Thank you, Link. You are indeed the man I thought you were. Now, Zora's Domain will be saved. Now, Zora's Domain will be saved for certain. No time to waste. Hurry up and head over. Because of the rain, the cliffs are too wet to climb. To reach the domain, you will need to go straight along this path. As a Hylian, I know you are unable to swim up the river. As such, the path to the domain may be a bit treacherous. You'll likely have a tough fight in store. There are monsters up ahead that attack with electricity. Don't give up. I believe in you. He believes in us. Oh, that's right. I have something that I would like to give you. This is just a small trinket to show that I have faith in you. Electro Elixir. So just in case you didn't actually get the electric armor or anything like that before, he does give you an Electro Elixir because there is a specific part in the area that we are going to have to deal with a lot of the electric. What's the word I'm looking for? The electric element. So that being electric arrows and electric weapons and things like that. So I'm not sure why, but it effects do not seem to work for the Zora. Perhaps it's because it was made specifically for Hylians. It should work wonders for you, though. I shall go on ahead and make sure that there is not anything strange going on where you are headed. I'm counting on you. There he goes. The boy. Everyone's favorite. Alright. Reach Zora's Domain. Is there a new main quest? We say that there are a lot of enemies here. There are a lot of enemies here. Stop. Come on now. Okay. Not that that's any particular trouble. So we have so many of these. It's always so funny when they just kind of jump up here. You can tell that the rocks over here have a little bit more of a blue hue. That's by design. By design, not divine. By design. It's just kind of a designation to this area. Ooh. Oh, didn't I say... Bring back an arrow, or not an arrow, but a traveler's sword with us. For that kid. Perhaps I will. Perhaps I will. Oh? What are you doing? Ah. Okay. Ooh, arrows. Thank you. It's really an easy way to stock up on arrows over here. Okay. Am I using bomb arrows? I forgot about that. Yeah, I shouldn't be using those, actually. Not that it matters in the long run. Because they are basically still just like regular arrows, they just explode. But, yeah, as you can tell, they don't actually have much use in the rain, because they just... You know... They don't do the explodey thing. Oh, there's some Voltland traps here. Okay. It's good to know. It's worth it to go fishing around here. That armored carp that we just blew out of the water. Blew out of the water. Okay.
Hey!
Hey, Link! Sorry for calling out to you from the river. Since I pressured you into coming, I was not sure you would really come through. I'm pleased things are going well. Ever since this strange occurrence, there have been a lot of monsters around here. Be careful as you proceed. And hurry, all of my fellow Zora are anxiously awaiting your arrival. Okay. And we continue. Okay, yeah, that is to say, we are really not even halfway through here. We have a ways to go. So we do have to kind of keep that in mind. Here. As we continue up this path. Alright. Ooh. Yes, and it is a very winding path. More arrows. I like that all the enemies around here have arrows. Give us arrows. And this is also kind of where you're supposed to learn that you can do certain things. Maybe we're actually supposed to kind of go around here. There's some hardy truffles back here, so sometimes it's actually worth it to come around. But it definitely depends on the situation. We can, however, believe we should be able to start a fire here. Oh, okay, maybe not. Well, maybe not that easily, I mean. I think we can do it, we just have to kind of be careful with it. Here we go. We can get the brambles here, it just needs to be very specific. And with care, done very carefully. Oh! Worth our time. We can sit there if we want to. It won't pass any of the... Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Now, so the cool thing is... there are a bunch of shock arrows around here, and the thing about this specific set of enemies is that they all have shock arrows. And we can kind of get them that way. We do have to be careful though, because they can see us relatively easily. So, we can take them out relatively without issue. But we have to dispatch of them very carefully. Okay, perfect. But yeah, this one is kind of worth coming around and just making sure that there's any shock arrows that you can take, because a lot of the time we can get, you know, regular arrows, and then the shock arrows will be around. Oh, there's still one more here. Just make sure you're not seen. All of these guys shoot out shock arrows, so it is important to kind of keep that in mind. This guy's a little further from us than I'd like to be. I will take these arrows though. Ooh! Stay behind that tree. Okay. So you can be stealthy with this. You can be, sometimes it's not really best to be. It's all dependent on the situation, really. Also important to remember, these guys do not sleep. So, if you were hoping to get them when they sleep, that is not something that you can do. Also, blue nightshade glows at night. I don't think we ever, like, addressed that, but yeah, it does glow at night. It's a good place to come and get arrows, though, if you ever need them. Because they all drop arrows. Every single one of them drops arrows. I believe these shock arrows also return with the blood moon. I don't even think even with the blood moon. I think they just kind of... Okay. That's a good place to at least just come and get arrows. In a non-glitchy way. Oh. Money. Or money to buy arrows, if you wanted that. Really. Some roasted bass. Also just checking to see if there was anything else. Okay, I think we are good. I think we are good to continue. We really are doing alright though, I feel like. This isn't like a bad run of anything.
Oh,
Hey, over here! Once more from the river. It's Sorry for calling from so far away. The domain is still a ways off, but you're making good progress. I shall be along soon myself. I won't be much longer. In the meantime, I'll be shooing you on from here in the river, so hang in there. You can do it. Stay strong. There he goes. That majestic man. See, sometimes it's worth it to just hit the regular ones because, like, a lot of the time, you just get... Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Oh. Let's do the regular dragon sword. Alright, we're getting to lightning bolts here, which is not good. But it's worth it for this. Okay, we're good now. We're good now. Okay, we do have a couple more that are not bad in that regard. But still. It's alright. You know what? I'll just take them all on. Let's go, buddies. Oh. Oh. You guys are fine. Lots of arrows. Tell you what. My goodness gracious. Wow. I'll still need more at some point, but you're hurting for arrows. It's definitely a way to come. Way to come by. I don't know. It's just like we won't actually get anything from that. Alright. We cross the river once again. Can I get that? Oh, okay. Oh. Hey, Link! You're almost halfway to Zora's domain. Oh, by the way, there are a few spots up ahead with a lot of enemies, so I'm sure you'll be fine. I believe in you, Link. On he goes. Once again. Just kind of pops out to just be like, hey, you have a thing here. Alright, keep that open. Thank you. Arrows! There's so many. Nope. Oh, there's a cookpot here. Okay. Okay. Also, I really don't think you should have that thing of TNT right there, but you do you, I guess. Oh, okay. I think I can probably just... Okay. Alright, anything you can cook up? I mean, we've gotten a lot of stuff here. We can probably cook up some hearty bass, yeah. Lovely. Anything else? I think we're pretty much okay, I feel like. You know, now that we have the, you know, the armor, we're pretty much unstoppable for this. Yeah, we're only about halfway there. To come up this way. These are kind of the hard part right here is just kind of coming around. And then coming out over to these like winding areas. Once we get to that bridge, we can pretty much think of ourselves pretty, you know, in the clear here. Also, there's like these coral plants that are like plants, but they're coral. But they're above ground and they're not like actually coral. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Wow. Okay. Okay, I can climb up over here. I just can't climb up anywhere else. Okay. Seeing some enemy. Oh boy. Oh, give me that. Thank you. I'll take that. Don't mind if I do. I don't want a second Korok leap, actually. Kill. Okay, I have... Wait, why would I do that? Okay. Another arrow. More. Another arrow, more, what's it called? We have a lot of things. Also, did you know that these are engravings that you can read? History of the Zora, Part 1. The Eternal Zora's domain is told by King Torfaen. The rains have blessed the neighborhood since ancient times with an abundance of pure, clean water. Seeking a bounty of such water, the Zora gathered here. Thus, as the legends go, the domain was born 10,000 years ago. The land was also rich in ore, and so a unique form of stone masonry was developed to create our new home. The domain is one giant sculpture, a feat of architecture that has drawn admirers to the work, the world's over. Our great domain will ever stand as a hallmark of the esteemed artists who made it an eternal symbol of Zora pride. Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. LOL. Oh my god. I love that. I love that. That's so funny. And I'm fine. 'Cause you know why? Because I don't have anything that will... Yeah, give me these. So you guys can keep shooting those, but I'm immune to this stuff, so Ow. Okay. You guys aren't. Okay. Now we get arrows. like a really stupidly easy way to kind of go about everything here. Alright. Ooh, flint. Okay. There's a lot of frogs here. All of them hot-footed. No, none of the Adorance frogs, it seems. But a lot of hot-footed frogs. Alrighty. Maybe we should eat one of our omelets here. Just see if we can move this along just a bit faster. Because we don't have a horse. Okay, yep, we're just gonna follow these paths down here. I believe we can just continue on. If we do veer off the path, I do know that eventually, not eventually, but there would be, or that there is somewhere a Wizrobe, an electric Wizrobe. Again, which is quite annoying. But once we get past this bridge, it's pretty, you know, it's pretty much just, we kind of go around here.
Hey!
Hey, Link! Oh, sorry. Look below! Down here! You're still pretty far off, my friend, but I was sure you'd be passing over this bridge, so I had been waiting for you. You'll be at Zora's domain before you know it. In fact, I'm going to head that way too. I shall meet you there. Whoa, Link! Air warrior, a monster approaches from behind you. Wow, thanks. Oh, this is a blue moblin. In fact, I don't think we, well, we have, but like, yeah. It's a much better picture of it. Okay, here we go. Oh. Right, I needed to remember that. Okay. Okay. Oh, we haven't come across a Moblin Club left yet. I mean, I feel like it's just one of those things where I saw it, but I didn't actually, like, bother to get it. In fact, I'll probably take a better picture of it. There we go. I'll just probably swap to that for the time being. It's the same. It's the same. What's it called? Like, it's the same amount of, durability. That's what I was trying to say. A lot of shrooms over here. Sorry, a lot of mushrooms over here. Okay. We're following the right path. Going quite far. Feel like we're getting there. Oh, okay. In fact, if we can. No. No. Just no. No thank you. I don't want this. Like, I don't want that. Like, I'm so... Like... I, like, have no tolerance for the electric Wizrobe specifically. Like, honestly. I don't. I have no tolerance for them. Also, if I need to cook anything. Then I could. That's a pot that has at least enough shade under it to cook. If I wanted to. Oh. Goodbye. Okay. A little bit more crab. Also, I think I probably will eat this out. Oh. Okay, cool. It would have been funny if I hit that moblin, but... at least a little bit more entertaining, but... This is a shield I have? Yes, it is. Not that I need it. Okay. History of the Zora, Addendum 1, King Dorfian stand his ground. After 100 years after King Dorfian ascended to the throne, a stray guardian crossed upland Zorana into our domain. The guardian seemed unstoppable. Our best soldier's spears barely left a scratch on its metal hull. It was then that our King Dorfian, without a thought for his own safety, came out to face the guardian himself. With supernatural strength, he lifted the guardian and hurled it into a ravine. The impact of the fall left the guardian in pieces, and it was never to trouble another Zora ever again. The citizens celebrated the king's valor. From then on, their trust and respect for the king grew beyond compare. You can still see the scar he earned that day on his forehead, a token of his triumph. It's nice to, like, come by and read these, if you can see them. Not all of them are legible, I think. I think there's, like, a couple that are not, like, actually legible. But it is fine. Okay. So you can also, like, kind of veer on the offshoots up here if you want or need resources. I think there are a few Korok seeds that are kind of stray and worth your time if you want them. But we're already pretty close to the ravine at this point. We're not at the highest point, but we are, you know, nearby. So we might as well go there. And we can see there the source of our issues. Right over here. And that is the trunk of Vavruta, which is spouting up tons of everything into the air. And there, over there, as we just saw, is our second divine beast. Or at least it will be. I do wonder... oh, okay, so this is the double back. This is actually the switchback. So we can just, do we have a Moblin Spear? We do have a Moblin Spear. I don't believe there's a bow for the item. I think that's one of the things that we don't actually have. Did we miss a Zora's Domain post? I don't think we did. No, I think we're just kind of going this way. Oh, is that the... I did wonder if this is the... Oh, this is the red tuff variant. Okay, so this is actually... oh, we do have that. Okay. Wasn't sure if we did or not. Oh. Thank you. Okay. Never mind. A lot more frogs. Still in the area. Let's see. History of the Zora Part 7, The Hero Who Defeated the Lionel, as told by King Dorfian. There was a time where the people of the land were threatened by the beast Lionel, who lives on Palm Mountain. But one Hylian drove the beast back and restored peace to the domain. The Zora Helm won in this fight is not north of blank in the ruins near blank lake, or is now north of blank in the ruins of near blank. It rests there to honor the deeds of the time has taken its toll on this, as we can see. I wonder if that's for us. But I guess we'll have to find that information elsewhere. It doesn't look like we'll probably get to it before the end of the session. But boy, we are still going late here. I do want to think that now that we're here, that we can probably continue on with this. And we can't carry any more melee weapons, but you know, we can at least start this mission, right? What time is it, though? Now we have reached Zora's domain. Whoa. We made it. I've been waiting for you, Link. Welcome. Behold, pride of my people, Zora's domain. Now I shall introduce you to the king. Hurry this way. Huh? What is it? Master Link! Is it truly you, the Hylian champion? It's me, Rivian. We used to swim together when I was but a child. Remember? I lost my memory. Well, it has been 100 years since then, and now I'm over 130 years old. I must say you've aged well for a Hylian. Unbelievably well. Now that I think about it, shouldn't you be dead? Sorry, that might be too much of a personal question. Father, we are on guard duty right now. Oh, right, sorry. The leader of the pack, Baz, the Harry and Gaddison, and my father Trello, they have all aged but quite a bit, I'm afraid, but they are all doing well. Oh, but Master Link, you probably shouldn't speak to the elderly. Oops, sorry to keep you for so long. You have business in the throne room, right? Yep, please proceed there at your earliest convenience. Okay. Well, I do want to go in that shrine over there, though. Okay. Here we are. Reach Zora's domain. Alright. Ah, you must be that Hylian that Sidon brought here, correct? You did well to come all the way here. I am King Dorothin, ruler of the Zora. That object upon your waist, is that not a Sheikah slate? Now that I've gotten a good look at you, it is all too clear who you are. You are the Hylian champion Link. Do not tell me you have forgotten me. The Hylian champion? You can't mean the Link, that champion? So that's where I have heard this name before. What a fateful coincidence we should cross paths. I cannot believe it. The Hylian champion Link has appeared before us. We have met numerous times, I'll have you know. Ah, so many memories. My mind is overflowing with nostalgia, my friend. I had heard a terrible rumor that you had fallen in combat, but it appears that you have managed to survive. Extraordinary. I'd rather just be honest and say, like, I've lost my memory. I don't remember anything. Come again. You say you've lost your memory. But you surely must remember my breakfast out of me. And of Mipha, yes. You do you not? Oh no. I cannot believe it. Have you truly forgotten my dear Mipha as well? You and Mipha were so close, yet you do not remember her. Young hero, please look upon the beauty of Zora's domain. Do you see that statue? Does gazing upon Mipha's immortalized form still not jog your memory? Well, perhaps your memory will return in time. I dearly hope so. Father, I do not believe discussing my sister is helping the matters at the moment. Link seems confused. Oh, yes, of course. But first, it is worth noting how remarkable it is that Sidon brought a champion here without even realizing it. That's quite a feat, my boy. Well, haha, this is a good one. Link, I doubt not that you have endured a great many trials. Still, I must ask you to hear my plea. Now then, Hera, I must inform you that Zora's domain is in danger of vanishing because of Divine Beast Faruda. I shall do you the courtesy of speaking bluntly. We alone cannot stop this beast. Will you lend us your strength? What? King Dorothin, by leash, please do not speak so. To ask a Hylian for help, why the very thought of it curls my fins. Muzu, I expected more of you. How can you still protest? Muzu, it is rude to speak that way. Your king and his guests. Link is here because I invited him. With such unprecedented rainfall, we have no choice but to rely on the aid of a trustworthy Hylian. Have we not already discussed this and arrived at the very conclusion? He is the key to saving Zora's domain. I have no doubt in my mind. Indeed, Link is a champion through and through. As things stand now, Zora's domain, nay, perhaps all of Hyrule, is doomed to be swallowed by the sea. This is bigger than all of us, my friend. Zora and Hylians alike must put aside our differences and band together. Have you forgotten already, my king? We cannot trust these lowly Hylians. 100 years ago, they abused the power of an ancient civilization and turned Hyrule into what it is today. And that's not the least of it. It is their fault that Lady Mipha was lost to us. Link. Divine Beast Faruda has great power. It has the unique ability to create an endless supply of water. Of late, it has been mercilessly spouting water into the air. As a result, this area has been plagued by heavy rains. For us Zora, water and air are as one, so you would not think that this would be quite so critical of a problem. Sadly, the rains have filled the eastern reservoir near the point of flooding. If the reservoir bursts as soon as it will, I fear immense danger will befall not only Zora's domain, but also the areas downstream from us. Their Hylians' lives are in grave danger. I see. The Divine Beast cries out again. The Divine Beast Varuda. Your Princess Zelda often studied the Divine Beasts. That is, in the time before the Great Calamity. According to her resource, the orbs located on Ruda's shoulders are mechanisms that we can control, that can control the water it generates. However, they require electricity to work. These orbs are clearly out of control now because there is no electricity coursing through them to stop them. Second, who is quite shock resistant for Azora, hit one with a shock arrow. Sure enough, it slowed the water a little bit. Unfortunately, as an aquatic race, Azora is so terribly vulnerable to the power of electricity. Perhaps because we could not safely strike it with another electricity at one, the water soon returned to its full force. That is why I went into a search of a Hylian who could help us. Link, I am certain you have figured this out already, but we need you to use shock arrows to get those orbs working properly again. I will aid you in any way I can, of course. Please, Hero, I beg of you, help me stop Ruda's rampage of destruction. What? Princess Zelda herself instructed you to born the Divine Beast and appease it from within? So then Princess Zelda is still alive? Yes, in Hyrule Castle. Somehow. I do not believe it. She was alive this whole time, just as you were. The events of 100 years ago cannot be altered, it is true. But if we can regain the control of the Divine Beast, that it may yet prove useful in sailing the Calamity again for once and for all. Sorry, there's so much reading. I did not know you had such grand ambitions, Link. I did not you had such grand ambitions. Wondrous. Naturally, I shall help you too. Once it has stopped rampaging, you can easily climb inside it. Come, Link, let us appease Ruda together. I'm in, let's do this. Thank you, Link. We are in your debt. Our goal is the same. That means our meeting was nothing short of destiny. Now then, allow me to offer you this gift as a show of faith. So long as you wear this, you can ascend waterfalls just like Azora. Please take good care of it. King Dorfian! Surely you do not really intend to give this outsider the Zoran armor. Countless generations of Zoran princesses have gifted that armor to the one they are sworn to marry. Princess Mipha weighed that one with her own hands. It is far too important to entrust it to a shady Hylian. He may be a champion, but Mipha had no such relationship with him, so why should he receive such an honor? This is just too much, my liege. I do not understand it one bit. That Muzu is not really easily swayed once his mind is set. You must understand, he was in charge of educating my dear daughter, Mipha. Naturally, she means a lot to him, just as she means the world to us. Ever since we lost her to the Calamity, he has grown to despise Hylians. I hope you can forgive his rudeness. But what shall we do now? I tasked Muzu with finding the shock arrows we will need to appease Varuda, but now he has rushed off in a huff. Link, do not let his words concern you. I will work this out with Muzu. I shall return shortly. Sidon, I suppose that means you are going to tell him. Link, Muzu is most likely at the square down below. Would you mind going down there? I would like you to try to speak with him. And now we have reached our second Divine Beast. Now, there's only a couple things that we're going to do before we actually go ahead and do this. I am going to save a majority of this for the next session. Muzu, please listen. I don't care what you say. Okay. But here we go. You came all the way down here, but I was in vain. I have no desire to speak with you. Listen, well, Muzu, there is something you need to know. He who stands here, the man who called Link, is the one whom my sister Mipha had feelings for. I was only a child then, so I did not know it myself at the time, but it is so. I grew up hearing my father tell stories, some of which were about my sister's undying love for a Hylian named Link. What? No. You cannot fool me with such a fanciful lie. Not this, Zora. How could Lady Mipha possibly have feelings for a Hylian like them? Facts are clear. He remembers nothing, even when he looks upon the Princess Mipha's statue. It's the truth, Mizu. Though you have never knew it, he was ever in Mifa's heart. Oh. Having a thought. Just a fish face. Oh, sorry.
I was thinking. This reminds me of the time we first met. You were just a reckless child. Always getting yourself hurt at every turn. Every time, I would heal you, just as I'm doing right now. I thought it was funny how, being a Hylian, you looked grown up so much faster than I did. I was always willing to heal your wounds, even back then. So if this Calamity Ganon does in fact return, what can we really do? We just don't seem to know much about what we'll be up against. But know this, that no matter how difficult this battle might get, if anyone ever tries to do you harm, then I will heal you. No matter when or how bad the wound, I hope you know that I will always protect you. Once this whole thing is over, maybe things can go back to how they used to be when we were young. You know, perhaps we could spend some time together.
Yikes. What is the matter, Link? Are you unwell? You're quivering like a hatchling. What is the matter? I remember. What? Do not mistake me for a fool, Hylian. There is no way you remembered her just now when it is most convenient. I know. Like, what's with that? In any case, without solid proof, I cannot possibly take you at your word. If you have any such proof, now is the time to show it. Do so, and I shall tell you how to get those shock arrows. Yes, as well as anything else you wish to know. Alright, well, there's one way we can do that. Mizu, look closely at the clothes Link is wearing. You really think changing your clothes is going to make me... Eh? What in the... That is the Zora armor from before. Lady Mipha made that by hand, and yet it fits you perfectly. What is the meaning of this? Now you understand, don't you? Now you know who her heart belonged to and who she made that special armor for. The fact that this armor fits Link perfectly should be proof enough that Mipha made it for him and him alone. You have always disliked Hylians, even before the Great Calamity. That is why Mipha never told you. Now that you know, you must promise him to help him save us all, Mizu. Please, tell us where we can find the shock arrows we need. Knowing you, I bet you have already figured it out. I never would have imagined she would make that special armor for one such as he. I do not approve of asking for help from a Hylian, but I suppose it is our only option at this point. I am a proud Zora. That means I must take responsibility for my own warranted behavior towards you. As promised, I shall tell you where you can collect as many shock arrows as you will need. That tall mountain over yonder is called Palamus Mountain, and you will also find Chatterback Point. A terrifying creature has made its home up there. Its awful beats shoots volley after volley of shock arrows. Even a single one could be fatal to Azora. Aha! You must mean that Lionel. He's a man-beast, that one. That beast does indeed wield shock arrows. That is certainly one way to collect them all quickly. He is vicious, to be sure, but I'm sure Link will rise to the challenge. In order to appease the divine beast, I estimate that you will need at least 20 shock arrows. Do you think you can gather that many? Why do you still doubt him, Muzu? I have no doubt that he will be triumphant. Okay, Link, let's get moving. The faster way to Palamus Mountain is to ascend the waterfall east of the domain. That Zora armor should come in handy. Just swim up to the waterfall basement and then go up to the waterfall from there. I will wait at the East Reservoir Lake, right by the Divine Beast. Gather at least 20 shock arrows and then come join me. I'm on it. Wonderful. Today we shall stop that Divine Beast. Together we shall stop the Divine Beast. See, the Divine Beast onslaught. So we gotta find another Lionel. However, before we do that, let us go into here. Oh, there's a crab here. Crab. And let's claim the shrine here. And I think this will be our 4th one of the day. Yes, it will be. No, it is not a test of strength. I think this is a regular old puzzle one. But hang on for a second. Okay. Okay. Wishing power. Okay, so this one I'm pretty sure is like a more or less is a one that's really close to oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh god. Okay. Alright. What a way to go, really. But this one is mostly just and try to do a couple of things here. We have first things first, we can do stasis right here. If we wanted to, we can also do, for the most part, we probably want to. We can do stasis there. And I can do cryonics here. But yeah, we can just use a couple of things to, a couple of our runes to get around here. Have another Zora spear there. Not one that we'll need. Okay. But we do essentially want to guide this down here somehow. Boy. Guide this down certain ways, but this is basically like just like a giant pachinko machine right now. At least it feels that way. No. Okay, I kind of do forget how this one actually works, but I'm pretty sure if I put this there, then I think I it's about putting the ones in the right spots, pretty much. Okay. Okay. Take that one. Raise that up and... where am I? Just push that over there. And I think eventually... Oh boy. No, oh boy. It's not where that was meant to go. Lovely. Okay. I do forget how this one is done, actually. Actually, no, I think I need to put this here. Actually, no. Not there either, but not quite there either, but like here-ish. Yeah. That's a fun little fact. You can't actually use your abilities in the, like here. Ah. So, yeah, you just basically use your... Use the 3 pieces that you've gotten to keep things moving, but also... Ooh. Okay. Link, please get up. Link, please get up. I did. We did get rid of that one up there. Yes, we did? Okay, cool. Okay, and then we could just push this one. Okay, well, maybe we can... Now we can. And then we, no. No! I don't understand. That one stays there. At least all the ones that are like rolling down now aren't continuing to roll down. 'Cause that'd be annoying. Okay. I think we're good to... Okay. What? Yeah, this one seems very difficult to push over. Goodness gracious. No. Alright, and I do want to just make sure I broke the one up there, so I have two. Okay. Yeah, we did that one, and then we push this one up. Push it there. And then instead... push this up. Okay. Push it over the ledge. And then... I did that another way. And I believe it had something to do with these pathways, but for the life of me, I can't remember it right now. And I think this is fine. It's a fine solution. Great. That gives us another option for... Well, in this case, I feel like since we're not really doing any climbing right now, it's actually for the best for us to just put this on another heart. And that way we have 9 hearts. No, we have 10. So this would be our 10th. Okay. Yeah, this would be 10, right? Yep. Yeah, this would be 10. Alright. You know what? To finish off everything as we've been doing it, I suppose it is a good time to go and fight a Lionel. Yeah! Lady Mifa, watch this. I taken the aptly named demon sergeant. Shall strike down the divine beast Farfuda. What you doing? You're Link. Finally I can avenge Lady Mifa. It's been 100 years since you've last shown your face here, and how I second will cut you down myself. What do you mean? Playing dumb, eh? Nice try, but you cannot fool me, Link. You were unable to protect Lady Mifa from Lady Ganon. It's been 100 years since we lost her. Poor Lady Mifa. How heartbreaking. I won't fail her again. There's no way we would ask for your help now after all this time and after all that has happened. So says I. Second, the demon shot, even if this body of mine is destroyed. I will drown Frutan's shock arrows myself, and in doing so, Lady Mifa's regrets shall be alleviated. If you understand anything of courage, then get out of my way at once. Okay, sir. You do that.
Hey!
Hello and welcome. Sora's domain is currently searching for a Hylian like you. That said, this Hylian, I get the feeling I've seen him before. Perhaps a long time ago. Perhaps. Well, anyway. Let's get another heart container. Yes. I find that we have, like, just enough stamina to do what we want to do, so I'm, pretty much just taking it as is. So I'll just get one of these as is needed. Okay. Okay, we don't have any for now. Oh, I'm sorry. He is really working out here. Good morning. You are Link, right? What do you ask? Prince Sidon ran off through the eastern gate. He was shouting something like, I'm off to stop the divine beast, like the Hylian. I think the Hylian is coming with me. I assume that means you're going to Mount Palama's mountain in search of shock arrows. Yeah. If so, I have a request that is somewhat related. There's a red-maned monster called a Lionel that lives on Palama's mountain. I really need a picture of that Lionel. It can be a picture of any red-maned Lionel, not just the one on the mountain. So what do you say? Can you get me a picture of a Lionel? Okay. I'm glad that was settled so quickly. See, there's this fool in the domain that nodes people jumping that goads people into jumping off of Shadowback Point on Palama's mountain. It's an incredibly dangerous jump, and this guy pressures people into jumping off by questioning their courage. He's a real bottom feeder. If this keeps up, someone is surely going to wind up horribly injured. I need a picture of a Lionel just to show everyone how scary they are. That way, many people will stop going up there. Does that answer your question, Link? I'll leave the details to you. Just bring me a picture of a Lionel so I can describe them in terrible detail. Thank you. I mean, that's fair. That's very fair. Okay, so I believe that Sidon went over to the right, on our right-hand side, so we're gonna go left. At least I believe we need to go left. Yes, sir. This gate is all clear, sir.
No!
Oh, well, if it isn't Master Link, I heard you aside for Silver Eyes. We used to play together all the time. That was 100 years ago. My name is Gaddison. The Hylian that Prince Sidon brought here. Don't tell me that was you, Master Link. And what's more, you don't seem to have changed much in the last 100 years. Oh, but I shouldn't be making idle chit-chat now. I'm supposed to be fulfilling my officially appointed duty by keeping watch at the East Gate. I must maintain my surveillance of the East Reservoir Lake. We can chat later. Suppose we can, once I stop this never-ending rain, it seems. Yeah, I believe that Sidon went over this way. Yeah, because you can see that there's a set of stairs that go up there. Unfortunately, we won't be as lucky. And we'll just have to climb up this way instead. Sneaky. Oh. Okay. It is down. Okay. And this is a really helpful piece of movement armor, so we will definitely be looking into this as it comes up. However, I believe it is very weak for us. So we do just need to keep following up these areas. No, there's another set of... It's another story. Oh, like, by the way, the stories, the little, like, Zora stories actually continue all the way around the domain and the area surrounding it, so it's a nice little thing. History of the Zora, Addendum 2, Prince Sidon's Great Escape. There was once a giant octorok in Hateno Bay, large as a mountain, which terrorized the village's fishers. Hearing of the distress, Prince Sidon went forth to personally eliminate the offending octorok. But this octorok was a tricky beast. After the prince dodged one of the stones of spats and inhaled him whole. Such has been the fate of many strong warriors who went to slay the octorok. No one had come back alive. Just as it seemed Prince Sidon would be counted among them, the giant octorok twisted in pain. The tip of the silver scale spears pierced the octorok's stomach from within, revealing itself as the source of the beast's agony. Incredibly, Prince Sidon has fought his way out by stabbing his spear over and over into the monster's stomach. Unable to bear the pain, the octorok coughed up the prince and scrambled to escape. Ever since then, the fishers of Hateno Bay have passed down this heroic tale. The prince who slew the fell octorok. So, you know, Sidon's okay. Sidon is doing pretty well for himself. Even as a warrior himself. Right. And here we are. Now, how many shock arrows do we have? We have exactly 7. And we actually get a really nice view of Makala from here. And this may be a way that we end up come to the area anyway, to go through the area anyway. However, we do need to be cautious, because if I remember correctly, I think without the DLC, there are some flying guardians that are around. But yeah, as you can see, the next region up is very, very easy to get to. If we were to do it. Oh, there's nothing here. Okay, now the rubber helm is probably okay armor, but we probably are going to switch to our Hylian hood, from before. But, you know, as we've discovered last time, the Lionel will not hurt us as long as we don't draw our weapon. It will not initiate the fight unless we draw our weapon, so if it spots us, you know, we still have some time to react. It is very much there. Probably hear it roar in a moment. There he is. So many. So you can either treat this like a stealth mission, or you can fight him. And we are going to do the latter of those two things. Oh my goodness. Hello. Oh, okay. No, no, he's just, okay. Not the, alright, not like what we've been experiencing. Oh! Okay. It's not what I wanted to do, but okay, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, he did different things. This one is different. We have experience with Lynels, but this one's different. This one's a little different. And you know what? That's okay. That is okay. Okay. So first things first, we're gonna get in defensive. We're gonna go on the defensive here. And then we're gonna go ahead and get a mighty meal going here. We will need to do one. We also do need that picture. Hello. No, we'll keep the old picture, but I just needed that. Okay. We're dodging pretty well here. Okay. Alright, we've done our opening. Oh, come on now. Alright, well, you know what? Why are we... Okay. You know what we gotta do. You know exactly what we gotta do. I know how to do this, but... Yeah, we are gonna... Okay. Yep. And now, mounting. We're pros at this now. We are pros at this, even though we're getting hit. We are pros at this. Okay. I don't know why I'm just like not having a great time at getting this. Okay. I'll get another one of these. Why not? Also, probably, drop that one in favor of another Lynel bow. Because we can never have too many of those. But yeah. Definitely the latter of those two options for us, specifically, because we've already taken on a Lynel or two in our day. Taken on Lynels of all types. We have 24 shock arrows now. And we will be scavenging for any more that we can find here. As much as we can. So you can try to run, but the problem is that as Lynels do, they will start to shoot at you. And also Lynels can teleport. I think I've mentioned that before, but yeah, they can teleport and it's not a fun time. It's not. They don't do it often, and I think they only do it when you get like too far enough away. Or within like a certain range of them. But yeah. You can also see where we came from. There is Mount Lanayru. It's beautiful. It's a nice, beautiful, you know, array here. Actually, right there is our point of interest. But up here is actually a pretty clear view of everything, even though it's still raining. Also, I'm just like talking here like I didn't just like fly to Lionel. Okay, but how many arrows do we have though? 39. Not awful. There's still even more. Okay, but yeah. So, yeah, this one does act a little differently. Well, I think this one's just specifically for the mission, but in most cases, as we know, you can, under most circumstances, if you do not draw your weapon, they will just, you know, you can just leave. They'll still like draw their own weapon to be like, hey, back off. I don't, you know, I don't want you here. But after the fact, they'll stick around. Also, this one specifically will always be red. This one will always be red. It will never, you know, it'll never upgrade to another color or anything like that. But the others will. And there are a couple more that we haven't done yet. I actually probably do want to go check that before we go ahead and, you know, at least take on this divine beast here. Potentially. But now, again, that does leave us right before, but let's go talk to this person about the request that they had asked for. Then we will go ahead and go back out.
Hi.
Hello. Link. How's that Lionel mission coming along? I have your picture. Oh wow, please show me. What? My apology. That sound was not very dignified, was it? Pardon me. I know better now. That Lionel, how terrifying. And look at this, and I doubt anybody will get any reckless ideas about visiting Paula's Mountain. Thank you. I'll tell the children of the domain about this. Maybe that will scare them away from the mountain. Oh, right now for your reward. Oh. So we get the greaves for that. These Zora greaves were once made by a skilled craftsman by order of an ancient Zora king. Now they're fairly common. As you may know, the East Reservoir Lake was created in collaboration between the Hylians and the Zora. After the East Reservoir Lake was finished, we made Zora greaves as a token of our friendship to the Hylians who came to visit. But over time, the number of Hylians visiting the domain dwindled, and my father had to close his armor shop. The Zora greaves were the last pair he left in stock when he closed up the shop. Wearing these, even a Hylian can swim as well as a Zora. That said, these would be wasted on me. They're only useful for a Hylian like you. Please take good care of them. So, a well worth the side quest for me. Alright, guys. So, at that point, this leaves us with one thing left to do. So, we will come back to that next Sunday. Okay, so let's talk, guys. I feel like we have made a considerable amount of progress to the point that I feel as though I am okay with us having two... Oh, gosh. With us having two Splatoon streams instead of 2 Breath of the Wild streams next week. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. You know, we will finish up everything by having the last, or like by having this next Divine Beast. That will be pretty much our last thing, in regards to what we do around here. Ooh, I am so very sleepy because it is actually also midnight. I don't know why I keep doing this. In any case, I do appreciate you guys being here. The schedule will be up tomorrow, so it will be a Splatoon. Friday. Yeah, it'll be Splatoon Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, Wednesday, Friday, and what was I thinking? Wednesday, Friday. No, sorry. No, Tuesday, Friday. Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday week. 2 Splatoon streams and 1 Breath of the Wild stream. And in that Breath of the Wild stream, that last Breath of the Wild stream, we will take on Bob Ruda. That is what we will do. So I guess that is it for me. I hope you guys have a lovely start to your week. And, you know, be careful and do, you know, make good choices, and don't be like me and wait till the last minute to pack your stuff to leave the country for a month. Sound good? Cool. Alright, I think that's it. I don't think I'm gonna raid anyone. Let me see if there's anybody worth raiding. I don't really feel like that's probably gonna be the case. I didn't see many people go live today. I think it's just because of, like, everything that's been going on. Peachy's live. Oh, there's somebody I haven't actually raided yet. Oh my. You know what? Hey, how about we hand you guys over to somebody who's on a subathon right now, because yeah, that's yeah, this is definitely something of note. Wow, that's, yeah, cause okay, I think we'll hand you guys over to somebody who's in the middle of a subathon right now. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it from me. Goodness gracious, I'm very tired, but you know, we'll be back. We'll finish this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do all of this. It's gonna be great. But yeah. Okay. So we're gonna hand over to Hostess Misaki, who is playing one of my favorite games, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I have my copy. I just can't really get it to work with my what's the thing? My GameCube. I don't have a Wii anymore. But maybe I might be able to get one for really cheap and just like try to play that, because that is one of my favorite games. That is like one of my all-time favorite games, so I definitely want to try to get it over there. If you are interested in joining the raid, let me just actually send the raid message, because I feel like this is somebody new and we should at least send a raid message. It's not like Alec or somebody that I was figured would just be like a normal thing. But yeah, we're making progress. We are making progress, and that is all that matters. So I hope you guys have a good week. We will come back and we'll finish this Divine Beast, and we'll have like a really good send-off stream for me, and we'll not leave it on like a big, it'll be like a big like a big moment for us, but it won't be like a huge thing. Like it'll still be like a good thing for us to at least end on, and without it being like a huge thing. So that being said, we're gonna go raid Hostess Misaki, and I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your evening, or day, or night. And yeah, I will see you guys. Let's support somebody on their first subathon, even though I've never done the subathon. Oh god, listen, it's gonna be a very long time before I get to do a subathon. I'm just gonna be honest. So let's live vicariously. Let's live vicariously. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna send you guys off and go to the ending screen. Once again, appreciate you guys being here. Please expect a Tuesday, Friday, Sunday schedule next week, and it will be up tomorrow. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Stick around for the raid.